Thank you all for being here today for our live webinar. That again allows you to ask me any questions in regards to as we go through things. And if there's other questions in relation to other parts of marketing that you have questions about, perfect. We can take that time in the different sectors as I go through this to definitely answer those. And again, I appreciate you spending time and being here today. But we're going to be talking about how to driving 500 five-star Google reviews to your auto repair shop. And again, yes, it's a big number, but absolutely possible. This is not a get rich quick sort of scheme kind of thing of like, oh, this happens within a month. Like, no, that's not a thing. You probably would get flagged from Google anyways if that happened that quickly. So we're going to be talking about the process of getting them, and again, from that process, you'll see the different tidbits and practices that we have, both with gaining the reviews, responding to the reviews, and definitely appealing the ones that are wrong, and the process that it's going to take there. So those are going to be the driving factors as we talk through today. And so for an agenda, just again, so that way you can follow along. First off, why do Google reviews matter? Again, hopefully we all understand that. That's why we're here, but I will be going over why they matter and the factor that it has within Google's world, laying the foundation of building them. Google reviews statistics that we found online, and how do I get customer reviews to begin with, and how do I respond? So those are going to be kind of the breakdown that we have for getting the massive amount of Google reviews that I know a lot of you want to have, especially up and above your competition. That's kind of the name of the game, making sure that you have better, stronger reviews, stronger reputation online versus your competitors in your local area. So first and foremost, why do Google reviews matter? So I'm gonna throw in the chat. Yes or no? Do you think Google reviews matter for any reason? So yes, you definitely think they matter. No, that's why you're here. Hopefully you'll learn and find out. But if you don't think they matter, then definitely I want to hear that transparency and see that down. So someone says they matter because we want customers to know we are reliable. Absolutely. Anyone else? Okay, we got a few yeses. Perfect. Someone just wants to learn how to get more. Exactly. It will definitely help with getting those. So great. Yeah, and definitely, I mean, at the end of the day, they absolutely matter. They matter for a whole host of reasons. One, again, being the very base reason of people love seeing reviews. That's just the way of the world now. I mean, how many of you, I'm sure, shop all the time on Amazon, and how often are you purchasing things without reading a review or at least seeing the review rating? Like, more than likely, just naturally, your eyes gravitate to it, and you're like, oh, you're looking for something side by side with another thing. You're probably going to pick the one that has the higher review, maybe a more abundance of the review, just building that trust. So again, the same sort of concept works online. But number one, it creates a positive first impression. And so potential customers only see positive things being said about you. It helps them to get off the fence. So people want to have that positive interaction. And so by getting a good amount of 5-star reviews, then that helps show that, oh, you're a little bit more trustworthy because people are seeing that positivity. And again, another question that I've even gotten before this was like, should I get reviews elsewhere? Should I get them on Facebook? Should I get them on Yelp? Should I get them on some of these other platforms that are out there that like offer like a review service and it sits on their website? So even sometimes I'll review directly onto the website. That's where my recommendation is definitely, if you're driving reviews anywhere, send it to Google first, because that is kind of the proven trusted authority. It's going to help a lot of other things because majority of people search on Google comparative to any other platform. And so, and based on how Google kind of shares the review, it looks a lot more genuine versus, say, if you were just to place reviews on your website. Like, anyone could add that in there. You could type fake ones. And so that value add is just definitely not there. And so you want to make sure you create that transparency. Pushing into Google is definitely going to help that. If, say, someone doesn't have a Gmail account or something, can't leave a Google review, that's where you want to send them a different place like Facebook or Yelp or one of these other places. But usually my second recommendation will be then to send it to Facebook. because those reviews are starting to also now populate within the Google Business Profile as kind of overall rating. So another thing to pay attention to, making sure that you're sending things and reviews to places that it's going to actually matter and make a difference. But majority of the impact is definitely going to be through Google. So that's where you should be sending it. It should not be going anywhere else. If so, more than likely you're wasting a lot of valuable effort and time to even get that review. And now you're having it end up being in the wrong place. So number two, it gives useful insights to you. So 95% of customers feel customer service is essential to brand selection and loyalty. And that 95% is a very, very high percentage. And customer service is something that you control. They're at the shop. And so that's something that, again, correlates very strongly to Google reviews. You're not going to get good Google reviews if you have bad customer service. That's just the nature of the game. And so if that's something that you feel like, hey, team-wise, company-wise, that needs to be fixed first, then absolutely fix that first. Because going through this whole protocol of how to get 5-star reviews, and then if you're not doing the service to even bring that up as a possibility, then again, this whole webinar would be a waste of time, because there's no way that you can get 5-star reviews. This is, like I said, this isn't a magical scheme where you're just going to get a bunch of fake 5-star reviews. Like, no, we want real, genuine 5-star reviews, but how do we then develop them? But we will get there in terms of the best practice to do so. But first and foremost, you want to make sure that, again, your customer service is on point and locked in. 60% of customers have higher expectations now than they had a year ago, which, again, based on technology advancements in this day and age, and just based on the immediate gratification that most receive just by simply just being on their phone, asking for something that they want and getting it almost instantaneously, people's expectations have kind of shot through the roof. And so we want to make sure that by having strong Google reviews, you're setting the right expectation, because those are real services that you render, and thus you're going to even blow them away even more so when they get in. So those are big things that you want to make sure that are taking place there with getting the reviews. And number three, boost your SEO ranking. So this is sometimes a misnomer for people, as I mean, there's different belief systems in terms of Google reviews and how it supports ranking. Granted, it is not the number one factor to ranking high in your Google in the local backpack. There are a whole host of different factors. Google reviews are on there, definitely not the top one. So I don't know how many of you have typed in, say, auto repair in the city name of your choice, and you see the top 3, and it's a varying list of reviews. Sometimes you're not out there on there, and you're like, I have the most reviews in town. Why the heck am I not on there? Well, it's not the number one factor. There's a whole bunch of different things within SEO that goes into it. You can take a look at our SEO webinar last month that we did. They can definitely help gauge off of those certain things, because those are definitely going to be some big leading factors that we talked about there. But Google reviews obviously still very important. One other thing with Google reviews is that the words that are on there are indexed. So in a sense, the same way that the words on a website are indexed, and Google's what they call like spiders are crawling over the website, they do crawl over Google reviews. And so thus the words on there are indexed, and then can factor into improving the ranking in which how you perform. And so that's why it's going to be, as we talk about later on, how you respond to the reviews are also very important as well, in terms of accumulating higher presence, thus more volume, thus more cars coming in, thus more reviews. So kind of we have this whole circular effect that we're going to take place here. But as these things happen, more and more reviews are going to be coming in, and you will be very happy with the results that it brings, because Google wants to give good results. So at the end of the day, how I like to explain Google is a trust-based business. It's a trust-based business model. So they have a platform, people type in a search term or a search phrase, and then results spit out. The results that spit out are hopefully beneficial to the consumer that's typing it in. And then now the question becomes, when they're typing in auto repair in the area, they want to show trustworthy results, because they want people to keep using Google over and over and over again. And so by building trust with Google, you'll tend to rank higher more often. Granted, it's not going to be all the time. They try to play the game a little bit more fair, but they do want to show the more reliable ones the most often. And by getting more reviews, it definitely is a factor that helps it. All right. Number 4, creates trust and loyalty. So again, pretty self-explanatory, because reviews are a form of social proof. The more people talking about you, the more others want to be a part of it. Like, again, in society, everyone gets FOMO and the fear of missing out. And thus, if they see a lot of people being happy about something, people want to find out why they're happy too, and they want to be happy themselves. And so, by creating this brand of trust and loyalty, that again creates a natural snowball effect across the board. So, another stat here. So Bright Local is a popular marketing software tool that we personally use here at Lyft, but at the same time, a lot of other marketing companies leverage Bright Local and the varying tools that they have within their platform. But they have a local consumer survey shows that 49% of consumers trust reviews as much as personal recommendations from friends and family. So that, like, again, nearly half of the people trust the reviews from strangers written on the website as much as family and friends that they know personally for their whole life. So again, there's a lot of clout behind getting those reviews, and they are obviously very, very important to get. But number 5, they help stand out from competitors. So only 9% of consumers would consider engaging with a business that had a 1-star or 2-star average rating. Again, if you have a 1-star, 2-star average rating, you have a lot of things to fix. I would honestly recommend deleting your Google Business Profile, starting over again, because that is pretty rough. Once it even gets below an average of a 4-star rating, like, that's already iffy in terms of, is it safe there? Like, are we just going to get ripped off? Because again, there's obviously certain misunderstandings and misnomers about the auto repair industry, and people feeling like they're getting ripped off for whatever reason, and the prices are way too high, and I went to this other place and it was way cheaper, and all this stuff already that they have in the back of their mind. And so if they're seeing a low review below 4 as an average, then there's a lot of work that needs to be done to make sure that improves. And so, for example, though, if you're looking to acquire a store and that store has very low reviews and like, I can make that way better, that's perfect. I would recommend deleting that one and creating a new one, because again, regardless, those reviews are staying. And then, yes, you can reply back and say, hey, under new ownership, this is with previous ownership, but not everyone is going to click through the reviews to see the comments and then again, gain that knowledge to know that happened. So that's where I would recommend, hey, starting anew. But big thing, ideally, you want your average rating to be above 4.5 stars. This is where I'd say the very good place to be. Obviously, the higher the better, but that's where you want to be there. Okay. So number 6, reviews are just as important among job seekers. So Glassdoor indicates that 86% of employees and job seekers research reviews on a business, and ratings determine whether they should apply for a job. So in the comments, and I actually missed a question, which I'll answer here in a little bit. But in the comments, how many of you are looking for a tech or service writer or any employee in your company? I want to see yes or no. I can only assume what the answers will be across the board. So if you're looking to hire right now, put a yes. If not, throw a no. I'd love to see based on the answers here. All right, we got a bunch of yeses, which I very much assumed was going to be the case across the board. So, yep. We do have one person not right now because they just hired someone. So that's great. Congratulations. Good job for hiring someone. But yeah, lots of yeses, lots of people looking. So again, your reviews are reflective on the type of business you are. People want to work for winners. And so, and people that do good work. And so that by having a strong rating there, that's also going to attract not only the customers that you want to have, but the employees you want to bring on board. All right. And so I missed the question earlier. And so how often should we review our reviews and strategy to ensure its effectiveness with SEO and driving traffic? Again, I think naturally you should be reviewing reviews regularly. Like, you should be looking at your reviews multiple times a month to make sure, one, that they're coming in, that they're increasing, and the ones that are coming in are right. Now, you can have someone taking care of responding to them, but you want to be aware of, again, the number of 5-star ones that have come through versus the ones that are less than 5-star, and what that ratio is, to see if it's starting to trend in any direction or not. And if maybe that ratio of 5-star to less than 5-star is just going in the wrong direction, maybe more discussions needs to be had internally in terms of service, operations, process, things across the board. So I would say that should be a multiple time regular ordeal each month. Obviously, I know at times bad reviews can weigh on people and ruin your whole day. Maybe you ruin your whole week. And that definitely creates some stress. I mean, we're all working hard, building awesome businesses. I wish people didn't go out of the way to do that. But hey, that's just the way people are sometimes. And but the focus is making sure that you do great work. And then with great work, again, will come the rest of the things that would naturally correlate if you're doing things the right way. And so not so much a SEO strategy that needs to be built behind reviews, other than the way that you respond, which again, I will hit on here later on in the webinar. So great question. If there's any, again, as there's questions, again, for those, again, I keep seeing new people pop in and pop through. As there's new questions, please leverage the chat function here in Zoom. Hopefully it's very easy to find. There's a big chat button on the Zoom, should be guessing on the bottom of your screen if you're looking at a computer. If you're on, say you're on your mobile phone, this should be a pretty easy way to peek and see the chat button as well. So but yeah, though, great question. And then number 7, customers believe a product should have 100+ reviews. And so now again, we're talking about wanting to get upwards of 500, but 100 is that nice number where you need to eclipse. Getting triple-digit reviews in someone's mind builds an incredible amount of trust, especially now if that amount of that rating is going to be about 4.5 stars on average. Then naturally you're like, okay, enough people have gone there now that I believe I can go there too. And so you want to make sure that you're definitely pushing to eclipse 100, but obviously up and above 500 now is a great milestone, a great thing to achieve. 100 reviews, honestly, should be very achievable within a year. Like there's no, even if you're starting from 0, like if you started from 0 today, within 12 months, you should be able to get over 100 reviews, like no problem. But again, we'll talk about the process to getting them. But first and foremost, you need to ask. You cannot be scared to ask for reviews, but there's also ways that you yourself don't have to ask. You can come from the company asking for the reviews. Okay. Perfect. So those are again the 7 important reasons of why Google reviews matter. Hopefully all those resonate, make sense. I'm sure there's other reasons why they matter that maybe I didn't quite hit on specifically, but as an overarching umbrella, those are the big reasons why Google reviews matter. All right. So laying the foundation again, provide exceptional service, claim your and optimize your Google business profile, and knowledgeable team members. So okay, we're gonna hit on what those things are. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna hit on it from this standpoint. So first and foremost, we hit on it a little bit here, but we need to provide exceptional service. So at times, as a shop owner, it's just like, oh, the marketer would take care of getting me lots of reviews. I don't need to worry about it. And yes, there should be a process built with the marketer, preferably through a CRM platform that's texting and building that process. But those good reviews cannot come if you are not providing exceptional service. There's no way. People are not going to go out of their way now to go an extra step to leave you a 5-star review if they feel like there's no way that you deserve it. Because some people, again, you deserve it and they don't even take the time to do it. And so for someone to go out of their way and leave them, it's going to be slim to none if you're not providing exceptional service internally. So first and foremost, this is what needs to be nailed down. Like people need to feel like this is by far the best shop I've ever walked into in my entire life. And there's no reason why I would go to anywhere else in town. That's where you start. And then you go from there in building more and more 5-star reviews. And that's going to be done. Again, the Google reviews should be left in your Google business profile, as they're now called. They used to be called Google My Business and your map list. There's a whole bunch of different names for it, but it's going to be your GBP, as we like to call it here. You need to make sure that you are the owner of your Google business profile, because at times, if you're not the owner, there's going to be a bunch of random things that happen in there, spammy related things that happen in there, rankings go down, sometimes reviews disappear. Again, that happens anyways, even when you do own it, but you want to make sure that you are the owner of your Google business profile. And so to check, you go to business.google.com, type that in. When you go there, you should be logged into kind of an attached Gmail account, whatever that may be. Hopefully you know what that is, a Gmail account. tied to owning your Google Business Profile. If you had someone else build it for you or make your Google Business Profile, you need that transferred over to you. Like there, you can easily go in there and transfer ownership from one user to another. You want to make sure that that happens because you are the owner of the business. You should be in full control of what is happening within your Google Business Profile. You can give access to others. For example, when we manage others' Google Business Profile accounts, we get added as a manager, not an owner. You get added as a manager so that way we can edit and adjust certain things in there, but we cannot add and delete users or do anything like that. So you yourself as the owner should be the only one that can do those things to kind of delineate any risk associated to you. So you want to make sure that happens. And then knowledgeable team. So both internally, externally, like vendors that you're using across the board, you need to make sure that everyone knows what they're doing and can do it at a very, very high rate. And these things across the board will be your base foundation. Okay. All right, awesome. We have another question. Should we be asking everyone for a review or only encourage customers we know are satisfied to leave 5-star reviews? That is a great question. So I would recommend, I mean, you can feel and your team can feel when someone is exceptionally happy. And those are definitely people that I would go out of your way to ask to leave a Google review. Now, ideally, so I've seen things where people put the QR code inside or they ask for the review inside the shop, have them leave it in there. That's great because getting a review is better than not getting a review. But if you're going to get it, I highly recommend getting it while they're sitting at home. And so the only way that you can properly do that while they're sitting at home is through a proper CRM texting platform that's getting it there. Because now as they're Google, again, it's scary, but they can pick up those things of where people are searching from, where they're leaving reviews from, and you want to create as a wider array of data points as possible. So if you're getting them in the shop, again, you're getting all these data points of 5-star reviews in the shop, but your rankings more than likely are already very, very good when they're standing inside your shop. If they type in auto repair, at least I hope so. But that's not really doing as much of a gain as it potentially could if they were in a different part of, say, town or that's just a little bit of ways. And again, you're getting reviews from different areas, and Google's picking that up, understanding like, oh, we can rank them over there too. We can rank them over there too. So you want to make sure that that's what's being created. But obviously, you want to streamline that process for people that are very happy. For those that are not, hopefully you're nipping that in the bud ahead of time, finding that out. So that way you do not risk having to then deal with a bad review on there, lowering your rating. Because again, one-star review can just like your average just drops down a bunch just depending on how many reviews you have. And so that's where you want to make sure you're just nipping that in the bud. If you even do get a bad one, there's ways to flag them. There's a bunch of people that they personally call the person that left the bad review, say, hey, I apologize. This is what we want to do to make it right, or whatever it may be. They get it done, and then boom, that person removes the review, or even sometimes they edit their review and then they make it a higher rating, sometimes a 5-star rating, and they explain like, hey, this is what happened. The owner did this, and they fixed everything, and they're like, I can't believe how nice and kind they were, so on and so forth. And now a 1-star turned into a 5-star, just again by just making a little bit of extra effort and steps there. So those are big things you want to do in the process. So great question there. Like key Google review stats. So 63.6% of consumers say they are likely to check Google reviews before visiting a business location. Honestly, that percentage seems low. I would expect it to be even higher than that. But based on the survey, again, more than half of people are checking on the reviews before they visit. Even if they were recommended to you, they probably will go in and peek and say like, oh, okay, those reviews are solid. That it's a good, viable company to go to. So very important to get strong ones. 93% of users have made buying decisions based on an online review. And again, nearly 100% of the people. And then 28% of consumers say that they have looked at the business reviews while standing or parked right outside the building. So even more so, and everyone, there's so many different touch points with reviews. You need to make sure that you're getting them, and do not be afraid to ask. So I was on a call earlier this week where someone was like, it was an owner, and he would sometimes I just feel a little bit awkward, like asking them, like, I'm just like, oh, I'm doing them a favor, but they already spent money with us. And so like, I feel really awkward doing that. And I think that's the biggest thing, the biggest hurdle you just have to get over. Because there's so many at the end of the day, you're trying to drive and grow your business and help your community. And by other people knowing how great you are, that's going to help you help the community even more so. And so just getting over that uncomfortability a little bit. And again, if you yourself are uncomfortable doing it, have someone else do it. Like have the service advisor ask, or have your CRM platform texting them afterwards and doing that and creating that conversation. So like that, again, that you have a much higher likelihood of getting a yes if you're talking to them in person. But again, I prefer getting the review while they're sitting at home and after maybe a few days of seeing the car, seeing how great it is after bringing it in. So you want to make sure that those things are happening across the board. Okay. So that leads us and segues us into the big question of how do I get customer reviews? And so quick question for those, how I want to hear from you guys. How are you currently getting customer reviews? I want to hear, like, are you asking in person? Are you using your CRM to text them? Are you having them scan a code while they're there? Like what are the different ways that you are getting customer reviews right now? And hopefully Google reviews again, but I'm widening an array here for people. Customer reviews, how are you going about getting them? Okay. So we have a few people that are asking in person. Great. We have quite a few CRMs. Perfect. People texting. Love to hear that. Okay, yeah, a bunch of all very similar answers. So that's great. At least most of you here are in the process of doing something. Again, I know at times it can be awkward situation to ask, but that's definitely a big hurdle to be able to definitely get over and build the clout in the local area. Okay. So over 60% of consumers would like to leave a review if the business asks for one. So over half of people, and again, more than likely this is driven by asking in person, face to face. When you're asking on CRM and text messaging, that percentage is much lower. And we've seen it across the hundreds of locations that we've messaged for. But again, you have to ask, because the worst thing that you can get is a no or no response. And there's no chance of getting a yes if you do not ask them for a review. And so that's the biggest thing here. I want to make sure that people understand is you have to ask and create a process of asking. We have a question. How can we make the review process easier and more convenient for our customers? Are there specific timing and follow-up practices that increase the likelihood of receiving positive reviews? So in this day and age, I think the easiest way is text. Majority of people don't prefer that one-to-one communication. I think people are just awkward now, and they have a hard time talking to people in person, and they just prefer to stare at the phone and text someone. And so you need to create the medium that is convenient and easy for them, and that's texting. That's comfortable. And so you need to ensure that you have a CRM platform of some kind that is following up with customers, because one, it provides amazing feedback in terms of how you're performing at the shop as well, and you can even potentially get ahead of things like bad Google reviews if you're hearing it from the customer first, especially for those owners that are maybe not as in the day-to-day anymore, and so you're a little bit peeled off. You're not really aware when someone's really mad, but seeing those things via text, that helps you be able to understand those things. And so that's the best practice there. In terms of timing of follow-up, like that's a bunch of different takes on when to do that. Some people are like, immediate, like that's the best chance to get the review. Others are like, nope, we should wait a little bit of time before starting the process. I'm more on the lines of waiting a little bit of time, maybe a day or two before following up, so that way they have a chance to feel out the service, feel out the car. When it's a little bit too quick sometimes, to me it feels like they're just hunting for that review, and you don't want to come off that way. So you want to be careful with the timing. But again, whatever, if that's the practice that has worked well for your shop, and you're like, nope, we follow up right away, or we ask them literally right when they're there, perfect. And again, as long as you end up getting the positive reviews that you're looking for, being able to share with your community, that's what is really the importance there. Okay, and I thought I saw another review question pop up, but I guess not. Okay, and so we'll keep going about, again, utilizing text message marketing. So a good amount as you already are. And so this will not be anything new in terms of obtaining 5-star reviews this way, but I think this is the best and most convenient way for your customers to leave said reviews. And so by sending them a text after the service, it creates now a discussion of how things went. And again, you do not need to jump right. Your first text does not need to be or should not be, hey, thank you for coming in. Can you leave us a review? Like, in my opinion, absolutely not. That's very disingenuous, very robotic in terms of like, oh yeah, this is just definitely a program that's sending all these out. We want things to feel as real as possible. Yes, with AI, there's a lot of things that are capable as well, but you want things to feel real, feel human. That's what people need these days, in my opinion. And so that by creating kind of a low entry, very not a high alert message in the very beginning is very important to creating conversation, having said conversation. When you see it, they're very happy. Boom, send them a link that they can just tap on their phone, go straight to Google to leaving a review. Should be very straightforward, very simple that way. And more than likely, you'll see that when you're having a real conversation with someone, there's a lot higher likelihood now they're engaged and they're going to take the time to leave a review now that you sent it. But if you are, again, very vague, very disingenuous, as you text them right away, say, leave a Google review link, you're going to get very few Google reviews. But doing a process this way, there's no reason why you should not get double-digit Google reviews, 5-star ones every single month. Again, that should be a very, very attainable goal to be able to get each and every month by just having a simple process of follow-up via text. Okay, and so again, this is our digital dominance method in terms of what we look at for marketing, and like we're hitting on text message marketing, but these things all working together cohesively are going to help, again, drive that consistency of building more reviews, because reviews are just, again, are not going to happen overnight. You need to have this consistent process that's continuing to bring in the right funnel of people, and based on the odds, if more cars are coming in, there's a higher likelihood that that's more people to reach out to follow up to get more Google reviews. And then the cycle continues on and on and on to get more Google reviews. That's more of a stronger base of loyal consumers that are always going to come back to you. And then again, increases your floor of revenue and car count each and every month. So hopefully you reach your capacity and can continue to grow from there. Okay. But sometimes it gets difficult. They're like, hey, you know what? It's just not working. We're not getting reviews. And so at times we need to incentivize for reviews. And this is not something you would want to run all the time, because again, within Google guidelines, you cannot be paying people to consistently leave reviews. And so, but like, again, running contests and things to, again, help that narrative, it's going to help be able to be creative with building that strong brand image that will then result in, yes, leaving reviews. And so you want to make sure you run some contests. One of the best ways that I think naturally incentivizes reviews is when you showcase them. So some people get hesitant to then share the amazing Google review that you got. Do not hesitate. They're kind enough to share it. Then I'll blast that on social media, put it on the website, so on and so forth. And people at times will recognize maybe that that's their neighbor that's leaving that review, and that's super cool. And I actually need a place to go take my car in too, and that snowballs from there. And so you want to make sure that you're showcasing your reviews. And a step further, if you can turn that into a video testimonial, video review that you can blast on social, that works even better. And so another high recommendation I'll do. That's kind of next level of reviews to then help build brand imagery. But again, you want to make sure that you're not hesitating to showcase them. And then giveaways, don't do these too often, but you can here or there just say, hey, yeah, we're doing running a promotion. If you left a Google review, you win an entry ticket to, I don't know, get a special or whatever, maybe you're giving away a prize. So yeah, those are things that you can do to kind of incentivize, push it a little bit. But last but not least, how do I respond to reviews? And so hopefully we've covered a fair amount in terms of the reviews itself, and hopefully building lots and lots of them. As you can see, the process is kind of a snowball effect of like if you're doing all these right things and you start building the traction, you start opening the door for opportunity of just even asking, they start coming through, and they're going to come through more and more often as this continues to happen, because now your base of customers just keeps growing. But getting the review is not where we need to stop, because a lot of I've seen so many auto repair shops have amazing reviews. No one says anything back to them, and it's like that's such a lost opportunity there. To one, just saying thank you alone is a big deal in my opinion. It's like as you read reviews and you see like, oh, the owner and the shop is they say thank you to everybody every single time. But you want to take it a step further, and because you, again, like I mentioned, Google reviews can be used for SEO. You want to make sure you throw in some keywords in there, say what make they brought in, what a brief description of what they came in for, and thanking them for coming in with that vehicle and for that and for that thing that they came in for. That helps with rankings, gets come just more data indicators, data points for Google to be able to see and read, understand all the different vehicles you service, all the different types of repairs that you do. And again, those are going to be very important things to be able to add on there. And it doesn't need to be a whole paragraph, a whole essay. We're talking about a couple sentences that you would throw in there, thanking them for bringing in your Ford for a brake repair, and really appreciate you choosing our auto repair shop here in the area. Or again, you can just change that up in terms of wording and verbiage and making things feel as genuine as possible. But more than likely, there aren't going to be many 5-star review comments that are going to be read. It's going to be the 1-star ones, the low ones that they're really reading. And so those do not respond in an SEO manner. Like you're just be genuine, handle it like a human being, because that's what they want to read. That's what they want to understand is taking place. So like I mentioned already, in your response, make sure to mention these key factors for SEO impact: customer name, vehicle make and model, service done. So customer name, again, that's just to give a more genuine response because you're using a person's name. But vehicle make and model, service done is at a base level something that I would highly recommend including in your review responses. It's that one extra step, and that's something that we do end up taking care of for individuals that are using our service. But again, if you're doing them yourselves, a lot of owners I know like doing them themselves. Start trying to include some of these things in there because it will make an impact in the long run in terms of your SEO. And only 24% of businesses consistently respond to negative reviews. So again, make sure you're responding to both. You do not want to just ignore it. It's an opportunity for you to, one, maybe share your side of the story, but just be above and beyond and in treating people the right way. And when you treat people the right way, things will tend to come back to you tenfold, in my opinion. And so you just want to make sure you're always doing those things, as painful and maybe as ruining of days as it can be at times to read it. Just try to swallow your pride. These are sometimes the best ones to leverage AI for, in my opinion, because it takes the emotion out of the equation. And so then you write something, you're like, holy moly, it just sounds like you are an angry person. And thus you just chat GPT, you'd say, hey, this is the situation. This is what I want to write to them in a Google review response. What should I say? Boom, you get a pretty generic answer, and it'd be a good thing to just jive off of and type in there. So that's one way that I'd recommend using AI for, but do not use it for every single 5-star review and copy and paste. That won't be good in the long run, because again, the more people that are leveraging AI for the same types of responses, the more Google's going to see it, and then the more it's not going to see it as valuable and trustworthy information. So you want to make sure that you're kind of taking that extra step there. And then 50% of consumers are confident that they've seen a fake review on Google. And so there's things out there, like, for example, if you went to websites like Fiverr, and then there's people that are like, yeah, we'll get you 100 5-star reviews tomorrow. Like, do not ever spend money on things like that, because you will get your Google business profile flagged. At times it'll get suspended. It'll be hard to get a new one back up because, again, you broke Google's guidelines. And that is the worst thing that you can possibly do for your business by not having a business listing up. So do not try to take shortcuts on this. Yes, the process takes some time, but if you do the process right, in no time at all, you're like, holy, It's like it's been 6 months and I have over 100 Google reviews. How did this happen? Again, it's just you do such great work, and now you open the door, create the right process, and things come again in tenfold. So you want to make sure that you are not taking shortcuts. Obvious suspects are fake reviews, over the top praise, many reviews with again similar things from customers, posted by anonymous users. Those are going to be big things that are going to flag as more than likely probably a fake review. But that leads me to another topic where I mean sometimes there are bad people out there that will then like spam a listing and make a bunch of 1-star ones because maybe there was a disgruntled employee that got let go and he told all his family and then they all left 1-star reviews for the shop and you're like, what in the world is going on? Like, yes, you go through the process of removing them, and that process, again, you go onto the review, the 3 dots, and you can flag a review. You go through some prompts from Google. The number one choice I recommend picking is off topic. So regardless of if it hits any of the other choices, off topic for whatever reason is the top selection, and it is the one that created the highest likelihood of a Google review being removed. Does not guarantee the Google review gets removed. And again, the rules may change, but as right now, that still is what it is. Highest likelihood of a review getting removed is by selecting off topic. And so again, you want to make sure that it is in fact a fake one, and then you select it, and then you just wait and see if it gets removed. But sometimes people panic and yes, they're like, please, can everyone go flag these? But then also, can you leave me 5-star reviews? And now you get 5-star reviews from, say, you're in a coaching group and everyone's across the nation and you're getting reviews from all over the country all at one time. That is not good either. Again, at times it's okay where Google doesn't flag anything, but that could easily be something that like you're an auto repair shop. You're not servicing people all over the country in one moment in time. Like that's not the type of business you are. And so you want to make sure that you're being careful with those things. Like you can get a couple, because again, people move and they end up in a different place. But you ideally want to just get local reviews. Like that's going to help you the most SEO wise. And so try again. I know in like creates a lot of stress seeing things like that. And you're just like, hey, a desperation, can anyone just leave better reviews for me? But I would strongly suggest not diving into that, trying to take a step back and like, hey, maybe ask the community, just, hey, this is what's going on, this is what happened, your neighborhood group, and people will leave reviews. That's much better tactic than just spamming it out to people across the nation to leave a 5-star review for you. Okay. And then so monitor and improve. So again, like we mentioned, 93% of people purchase with based on a Google review, and you want to make sure you're monitoring them, understanding what is coming in terms of reviews there. And then user reviews as feedback. They can show you where you need to improve. Ideally, you're having this communication before they leave a bad review. You're nipping it in the bud and handling it, not risking any bad review. But same thing, if bad reviews will come through, hopefully few and far between, but they will come through, and then handling it with class and seeing like, oh, actually, you know what, this was 100% on us, but it was a process that we need to fix and take it back and fix said process so it doesn't happen again. Those are going to be the biggest things that highly recommend doing there. Okay. So in terms of questions of anything else in regards to Google reviews or any other thing marketing wise, any questions from anyone on anything I went over? Hopefully it was pretty straightforward and transparent, but sometimes the best things need to be reiterated. And so I wanted to hear if there's any other follow-up questions that people may have. So any way we can differentiate ourselves from competitors in our responses to reviews. And so yeah, I think like I mentioned before, I mean, throwing in a few keywords alone is different. And what responding alone can be different than most competitors, because so many people don't respond to reviews, but responding with some SEO keywords and doing things that way are going to be a big assistance there. What are your thoughts on Yelp reviews? Oh boy. Yelp, in my opinion, I don't think it's a non-helpful platform, but there are things that I definitely do not like about the platform, and one I would try not to push reviews to go there. Mainly, like biggest biff with that is because just the customer service on like fake reviews and things like that within Yelp are so abundant, and but the help that you get is so poor that it just makes it for naught. Like it's so hard to be able to see it as a viable and trustworthy resource, in my opinion, for anything other than maybe restaurant reviews that are in Yelp. For auto repair, it's just very, very hard to work with them, and at times you need to pay extra money to even get things to appear more often, and then even then, and reviews that start appearing there are all not real. They're just a whole snowball effect there. So that's why I would push reviews always to Google. But when they are there, when you treat them the same, when the Yelp review is there, just respond. And when they are real, if it's not real, you just say, "Hey, thank you for the review, but we have no record of your name or this situation in the shop. If you're somebody else, we would love to have a conversation to correct it." Like that's a common answer I've given many a times and guided people many a times to do on Yelp, because there's so many fake ones that run rampant on there, and it's just not very helpful. And so Yelp itself, I'd say for an auto repair shop, maybe if you're based in the Bay Area or California in general, you might see a positive ROI there, because that's where Yelp started, and a good amount of people there actually still use Yelp for other things outside of restaurants. But pretty much anywhere else in the country, I would say Yelp is not going to be that big a positive ROI factor for you. So hopefully that answers your question in terms of Yelp there. We have another comment. I've heard to never accept responsibility in the review when you get a bad review. That doesn't seem right, especially if it was your thoughts. That is a great comment and question. If it was your fault, you should respond. In my opinion, like you should be responding, and how you handle that, I think, speaks volumes to other individuals that see it. Again, when people go online and there's a review that you can filter by lowest reviews, which is very sad that is a possibility, but then only the lowest ones appear at the very top. And if all the lowest ones are really bad and no one said anything, I'd be very scared as just an average consumer going to a shop. Like, are they going to even care? Like if something goes wrong, like that's to me where you wouldn't want to leave any question there. I think this is the right thing to do. And I tend to stray along the lines of just do the right thing here. And so if a bad review was a real one, then respond. Now, if it was not a real review, if it was fake, that's where you just report it right away and you flag it. If for whatever reason it stays there and it does not go away, say within 5 business days, then that's where I would then still respond and explain like, "Hey, we apologize. We are not aware of who you are or what situation this is speaking to, but if we are incorrect anyway, please give us a call and we will make sure that we do right by this." But again, you want to make sure that that's very clear and stated. You want to leave that unknown, because if someone leaves a horrendous review about you, and even if it was fake and you just left it there, people don't know that. Like they're going to read the review and think that you do bad work. So you want to make sure that you're being transparent there. So great question, great thought. And that is something that I have heard before from people. And I don't really recommend ignoring anything about the business. You want to be as involved as possible, especially when it comes to like a bad Google review. So perfect. Well, great. Again, if you have any other questions, please, again, feel free to keep adding them here in the chat. A little bit left to go. First and foremost, if you're like, you know what, I need some help getting more Google reviews, or I need some help getting more cars or getting a better marketing situation, or I just want you to take a peek at what the heck I am doing marketing wise, then we do free strategy sessions. And so you meet with myself or someone on our team, and we go over how we're seeing your rankings in Google, how we're seeing your online presence, what is your CRM situation, so on and so forth, and making sure that you have as good a recommendation as possible of what next steps should be. If things look good, things look good. And I've taught our team to let everyone know that, hey, yeah, I don't know how much more we can do. Obviously, we would love to support and help, but if you're happy with your company, you're seeing strong results, you have trust in them, to me, there's no need to switch. Like that's what you want at the end of the day, is someone on your team that you feel like has your back, and can like that's what if you found that, stay with that. But also, I mean, make sure that you're staying on top of knowing that what is happening is actually in fact happening. So, but that's our free strategy session there. I mean, you can book it. I didn't even mention it. You can give us a call here. You can shoot us an email. You can book directly online on our website, or we have this QR code here. It goes straight to booking on the calendar. And so whatever is easiest for you here, you can make sure to do that. And if you're watching on the replay, I mean, same thing. Like, you can do all those same things there. Then in terms of, we have a free marketing checklist. This gives you a generic rundown. Again, if you don't want to meet with anybody and you're like, no, I just want to see something of things I need to do, you can print out this free download that we have for our marketing checklist of things that you have going on. Just go to go.lift.repairmarketing.com/marketing checklist. You can also find this on our website directly as well. But yeah, if you go to this URL, you'll find that download there. And then we have a Facebook group. And so upwards, we're getting close to 2,000 shop owners in there now, which is pretty cool to have fostered over like a year and a half's time. But we share tips and tricks there, marketing wise, in there, replays of our webinars, and the podcast that I run as well from successful shop owners. And then at the same time, those shop owners have questions, or they share wins, things across the board in there. So feel free to check that out if you're not already a part of our Facebook group. So just Auto Repair Shop Owners Mastermind. Have it in Facebook. So, and lastly, we do have a book. So my wife and I wrote a book. My wife is awesome, and she wrote most of it, and she very, very proud of her and all the amazingness that she's accomplished. Was kind enough to allow me to contribute to and have my name on there. But we wrote a book. It's on Amazon. It's the one right here on the shelf. Just Drive More Business. It's pretty much a book form of all the webinars we do on marketing. And again, sometimes click by click on places to go and use and do. So if that sounds something of interest to you and you like books, go ahead, check it out, grab it on Amazon. All right. So I haven't seen any other questions in that entire time that I spoke. So hopefully that means that we had a successful webinar and I helped answer everything for you. I appreciate you all being here live with me. For those that are here live, it means a lot. They took time out of your day to spend time with me, and hopefully I answered any and all your questions. You got some value out of it. For those that were watching the replay that couldn't be here live but are still watching, thank you so much for listening. Please like and subscribe so that way, again, more people can find this, and hopefully everyone can just be aware and be of help to more people and auto repair shop owners. But again, I thank you all. We have to move this webinar up a week because I'm more than likely going to have our third baby here this next week. And so, but still, things will be running like normal. Happy to provide as much value as we can for the industry here. But I'm Kelsey with Lift Auto Repair Marketing. Thank you so much for being here. See you guys again next time. Bye.